All right. Hello, everybody. It's me, James Kuo. It's been a minute, so it took me a second to figure out how to be back on stream. But I got everything set up. It's a little bit after 5, but I hope you'll forgive me. Today, I'm going to be drawing a character from Squire. A lot of the time, these streams are kind of based on whatever I've been looking at that week. A lot of the time, it'll be a character that was on Mickey's Spider Babby's anime stream. And so we've had like Ryoko from Tenchi, done, we did Kanti from Fooly Cooly. I didn't stream for like a week because I was away traveling. And while I was out on the road, I picked up a young adult graphic novel, and it's called Squire by Sarah Alfagi and Nadia Shamas. Saying that correctly, and I just thought it was wonderful. And there's a really cool character in there that I'm going to be drawing a picture of, General Hende. This book is pretty brand new, so I don't want to give away any kind of plot stuff. So I can maybe flip through the first chapter like a little bit just to show you guys how cool it looks, but I don't want to like spoil everything because oh my god, there's so many like dramatic twists and turns. It's just a really highly recommended read. Okay, I feel like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I feel like we should go over to the drawing board. Let's do that. Okay, so there's the book. I'm going to grab some paper. Yeah, I think one stream that I think went pretty well was my Lunar New Year Tiger stream. And the big difference in that one was it didn't involve like a lot of pencil struggle. I kind of like went directly to ink on that. So I think I might go with that approach today and try to just kind of go in and do like a brush drawing from scratch. Yeah, I mean, usually on these streams, we'll start with a blank sheet at the beginning, and after 2 or 3 hours of sweating, we'll end up with like a pretty complete piece. So I feel like I should get this out. Okay, yeah, this paper will be fine. I was trying to look for one quickly before stream. Like I was looking for more like a vellum surface, which will give kind of a nicer effect with brush lines because I was hoping to do some brush inking. So if you guys can like just like give me a minute to look through my paper pile, I think it'll be worth it in the end when we see the ink come off the brush. Like it'll have a much nicer texture. There we go. I think that was worth like the small delay. Yeah, this is just like a sheet, same size, same paper company, but just like a different surface. Okay, so we put this pad away. And what else do I need? I'm going to need, well, I suppose I should show you guys the character. So this is just like a really nice volume. I think they did an excellent, like this cover is beautiful. I would do a shout out, but I don't think that either of the authors are streamers that I'm aware of. I did see like a very nice kind of promotional stream where Sarah Alfagi was doing like a live drawing a week or two ago, and they had like a really good discussion about like diaspora and like I don't know. This book is like so smart, so good. I just think this is just part of me. Like when I do these streams, it's a little bit of just like digesting things that I've been looking at. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it looks like this. It's great. I don't want to find the character in question. I don't want to give away too much, so I'll just show this one picture of her. So that's her. And I'll just like cover up some dialogue, not give away too much, but she's very cool looking. And I think she wields like a very cool spear, so I'm going to try to work that into the picture. And I think I need to mark this page so I don't have to look for it every time. And the sooner I get drawing, the better. Okay, okay, bookmark. All right. What do I need? I need paper, I need brushes, I need ink. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so I have my ink stuff set up over here. I have like small ink jar and like large water jar. And it does take me a minute to like get the feel for a brush because jar of brushes to use. And let me just pick one. Um, how about this guy? Okay, so we're going to be using that. It is going to take me a second to warm up the brush. I'm just going to do like some lines on some blank paper. Okay, yeah, I have some scratch paper handy, so I'm just going to warm up a little bit. Yeah, when I store these brushes, I put like a little brush cleaner on them, which has some sizing that helps them keep their shape, like so they have like a nice point at the end. And then every time you use it, you do have to sort of like take that back off. Okay, so just like washing out the brush, you can hear those dings. Okay. Okay. So let me just, sometimes when I'm inking, it's really nice to zoom in. I find that to be a nice experience. So let me just move the camera in. Okay. When I'm not doing streaming, like I do look at a lot of other art streamers and also just like drawing videos. It's just really pleasurable to me to like see lines coming into existence on the page. Even better when I can see like my own hand making the lines. But I usually like to try to encourage people watching to get out their own paper or their own phone or tablet and kind of draw along. It doesn't have to be the exact same lines that I'm making, but hopefully, like seeing these lines appearing will like create some sort of sympathetic response in you guys, and you might want to make a couple of lines too. We'll see. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I just like it's really like these brushes can be really kind of I don't know, what's the right word? I don't really like to say finicky, but like particular. Like, well, stating it as a positive, I would say that they're very like responsive, that like the brush really holds its shape and it really does what you tell it to. So it's really like the brush is not the question. It's just like getting my feel for it kind of calibrated. I'm doing like a lot of these parallel lines, trying to keep pretty close without touching. Different thicknesses and curves. Okay. I think that's looking pretty good. So let me see. I feel like I can put this aside. Let me get out my big paper again. I will have to decide if I'm planning to color this or not, because that could make a big difference in what the drawing looks like. kind of trying to look at my reference and my paper at the same time. Okay, let's see. Because I feel like the picture of this character that I showed you a few minutes ago, it was sort of like waist up, and I would like to find one that's kind of like head to toe. Oh, you know what? There's like great material in the back. Oh, Sophie Bloop Bloop. Thanks for joining the chat. Oh, I see a little Bread the dog there. And I believe, Sophie, that that Kate, my wife, did like an interview with your mom about climate stuff. I think that's the connection. So I'm very thankful to you and your mom for helping Kate out. Okay, okay. Wow, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna like show you guys this. And like, this is like what an amazing artist Sarah Alfaghi is. Awesome. So I'm gonna attempt to draw something like that. Although, I mean, mine won't be as awesome as this, but it will be, drawn live, which is worth something, I think. Okay. So, trying to figure out how to approach this. Like it is, I wonder if I'm like biting off too much by trying to do this like directly to ink. I feel like I should back off, and it would be, I think, prudent to go in with pencil. Is like, I feel like I'm going to shoot myself in the foot if I go ahead with ink. So let's find my lead. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I think I do need to give myself at least a little bit of guideline. Okay, so let's see. Since we're doing the pencil stage, let me zoom back out so you can see more of the paper, since we're going to be like sort of sweeping around and trying to find the shapes. Oh, wow. Oh my god. It looks like Sarah Alpha is here. You think skip pencil and just directly to ink? I mean, I've done it before, but I've never drawn this character before. And I just want to say, let's go over to the chat. Wow. So glad you joined the stream. I wasn't sure if I should like add the @ when I tweeted out the stream, but the book is really wonderful. I won't give anything away. It just came out like a couple weeks ago. So anyway, we're just going to draw General Hende because I thought she was so rad. And here we go. Okay, so you can't see my drawing if I'm on this screen. I wonder what happens if I'm going to give like a shout out here. Do you do streaming sometimes?
Not for me.
Oh, great.
Yeah, now I got. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about on this portfolio is that I wanted.
Oh, cool. I have to go give you a follow. I had no idea that you were on here also. Okay. I think I found it, and I'm going to, okay, followed. Great. Excellent. So, I feel like portfolio reviews and art talks. That's like, I don't know if it looks like if it's a while ago that the VODs probably have disappeared, but I would love to see one again. I've definitely like received like portfolio reviews from artists on Twitch, and it's like really helpful. So that's like, uh, a really kind thing for you to do. So I think I'm going in for sort of a side view here. And let's see. I just kind of want to get down this geometry before I get any shapes that are too specific. Kind of wondering, because I started at the top of her head, am I going to like run out of room and like cut off her feet at the bottom? I feel like I need to adjust this. I think if people have seen this stream before, they've definitely seen me erase full drawings. Like the first hour is usually the pencil stage and it's like a big struggle. Okay, let's see. I'm just looking for my brush, my like eraser crumble brush. Well, okay, hand is fine. So I'm kind of picturing like she's out here on the plains. I've got, like, I'm a big, like, in the world of like games, I'm kind of a big Final Fantasy fan, and my favorite class is always Dragoon. I think number 4 in the series is my favorite because it features Kane Highwind, the kind of the template for that job class. So I think just like having lances is like was a big draw for me, or like a reason that I wanted to do this character. So I feel like part of my image repertoire is like that very cool Amino drawing of kind of Kane standing dramatically sideways. I kind of purposefully drew her facing this way, kind of the opposite, just so I wouldn't like totally pull that same drawing out of my mind and like try to reproduce it. Let's see. And maybe she's sort of looking back over at us. Yeah. So let's see. Maybe some like dramatic billowing of this cape. Trying to think, if you're holding, like the lance is probably pretty heavy, right? So she's holding it in that hand. Well, it looks like from the reference, she's like super strong enough to like one-hand it, which is cool. So maybe trying to think of like the sort of chain reaction, like if you're holding a heavy thing over here, like what happens to the rest of, like how does that affect your like spine, and like would you be resting, like which way would your like hips sort of shift to like balance it? I feel like I'm gonna make it like the leg that's like closer to the lance, which would be her left. That's probably going to be more weight bearing, so I'll draw that more like straight down. And then I think this other right leg could be like a little bit relaxed, unless I totally have that backwards. Yeah, okay, so I think her right leg is going to be sort of out this way, doing kind of like a cool guy stance. Yeah, she's sort of in like a ready position. So let's see. There's definitely so much graphite in here. I really need to like clarify what I'm trying to do with that. And then I think in the back, lots of dramatic clouds. These curves are like a little cartoony. Sometimes it helps me to do like sort of bigger shapes just to get them like placed where I want them to go, and then I can go back over it, make it like a little more specific or a little more detailed. Let's see. And then down here, you know, maybe some rubble, maybe some broken slabs of a wrecked building. I'm not sure. But I guess, wait, I think I just caught myself because the story takes place like in history. Like today they might be ruins, but then they were like being actively used. So I feel like I gotta figure out what goes over here. I don't know if I have room or if I have the ability to fit the main character in here. That would definitely be like a challenge to get both Hende and is it Isa? Yeah, but it would I think be kind of cool in a way because they have such like different shapes. Because Hende is quite large and Isa is a child. It might be cool, like the contrast, to kind of show them next to each other. We'll see. We'll see. So provisionally, there's going to be an Isa right here. I may take that back. And I think they're both sort of like gazing out this way. Yeah. I think it's going to work. Yeah, it's tough to talk about the book without giving away too much. So I think I have to be limited or like pretty stingy with what I say about it. But like, I really love the artwork in it. Um, uh, one of the best parts, or one of the best aspects of that, were like kind of everyone's sort of like facial journeys. Like all the expressions are were like very involving. Maybe she would be like looking, trying to add like a little narrative to this. Like maybe, uh, like Hende would be like gazing out, being a general, but perhaps the titular Squire would probably perhaps be like looking up this way. And I think she has like a little sword. So this is, I think, maybe I'll just draw like a little practice sword, like a wooden guy. Okay, I feel like this is looking all right. It's pretty straight up and down. Like I feel like in a lot of the drawings I've been doing lately, I'm make more effort to have the characters sort of like coming towards or like away from the viewer. But it's all right that these two are kind of just like posing it out together. So let me see. I think it's coming. I think the composition is more or less how I want it. So I think I can move in. Well, I totally erased what's happening in this whole area. So I do need to like decide what's happening with this arm before I move on. But they could be doing. Ah, God. I'm just trying to get, all the different pieces of the puzzle to fit together. I was about to do like Isa sort of has a hand on a hip here, which is a nice pose. But I think it would be too much if I did the same thing here. So, what else could this hand be doing? Like there's like a certain like range of motion that this arm could potentially be doing. Just like, I don't know, that seems strange. Maybe I will just do hip. Or she could be, maybe I'll do this. Like, arm comes down, bends at the elbow, and then she could be like clasping her cape a little bit. Yeah, that seems more natural. Like, all this other stuff seems a little too posed. Yeah. So let's just like reinforce that. And then I think that I can. Usually, when I go from like a rough pencil to like a more tight pencil, I do kind of like to mess it up with the eraser, just so it'll feel like when I go to the next stage that I'm kind of like fixing it. it's just like a way to trick myself into not being too precious. Okay, so I need my smaller pencil, which is in my case. Okay, yeah, so the first roughs were done with this like 2mm guy, and we're gonna go down to this, I think it's a 0.5, and these are HB lead. Not too soft, not too hard. Erases nicely. Okay. So now that I'm going to be doing like a tighter pencil, I just need to have like one eye over here on Sarah's drawing. So let's see. I feel like I usually don't want to do the header face first, but I'll just like kind of block that in like a little bit more, but I won't draw like the facial features yet. Because like I mean, to me, like drawing faces and stuff is like so satisfying that I don't want to feel like I'm already done when there's like the whole rest of the figure to draw. So let's see. Her sleeve, a little longer than I'm doing right there. Okay, so I kind of feel like she'd be like resting her hand like, I mean, that's not exactly, I wouldn't call that like a lapel, but it's like a similar sort of relaxed pose. I'm not sure. This may still change. This is the part that I'm not happy with, but it's also like a pretty prominent part of the picture that's close to the viewer. I mean, I could make her more active. Why don't we do that? Like, I feel like I should make this pose like a little more commanding. So she could be like, this hand could be out this way, and she's like pointing at something. I could, you know what I should do is like foreshorten that a little bit more. So like this hand would be like here, and then elbow, and then shoulder, I think. I mean, even though all this is going to be covered in like armor and cape and stuff, I do need to know that like the structure of the figure is working. So I'm just going to try to like figure this out. And so let me think. Her neck comes down, other shoulders back here. So maybe this hand would be like a little further down. And then, yeah, so her spear would be like this. And it has like kind of a furry thing here. Yeah, I think this is going to be all right. Like she's doing a dramatic point. Sometimes, like when I'm drawing on my board here, I'm just like on top of it, and so I'm only like 8 inches away from the paper, and it's kind of on a sheet like this. It's 11 by 14, which is larger than I usually draw. I do need to just like, it's easier to see the whole composition if I can like step back from it a bit. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. I think it'll work well enough for the purpose of the stream. All right, here we go. One nice thing is she has all these kind of like, not sure, these like sort of wraps or this like fabric around her arm, which is kind of useful for showing that this goes back. Like if this were hanging down here, I would have drawn it like kind of flat, but since it's turned toward us, I can draw like all this like inside of the sleeve, and then I think some of the fabric would hang down here. So let's see. It looks like she has like a large kind of chest plate or like armor piece that's kind of like belted across. Like this belt seems to go like across the bottom of the rib cage, and then like her waist comes back out. And then down the front, there's like another fabric piece here. And since she's outdoors, we're going to draw that like rippling out. I think for for dramatic purposes, the wind is going to be sort of blowing out this way. And I think like Isa is going to be sort of a little bit contained behind this cape. I would like to be able to do color for this one if I draw fast enough. So it is coming together, and then there's the inking stage and the coloring stage. I think we're going to make it. We're only like 38 minutes in, so we're on schedule. We're good. Okay, so it looks like, okay, I should switch to my other pencil. Should I put somewhere? Well, I've got another one, so go ahead. I feel like, yeah, so this plate is here, and then there's like a kind of a large circle. And gonna let this fabric around her cape sort of billow up. I'm just trying to think. It looks like, to me, it looks like it sort of attaches here. So I have to think about how, so then it would have to go sort of like up over this shoulder and then back down and then behind her. I'm just trying to figure out how the fabric would move. Okay, let's see. I think it's working out. She has this great sort of like high collar, and that goes down behind here. Right, so then I think this sort of like blue tunic thing, it looks like it goes down to about knee length, and that's also going to be affected by the wind, so that's going to be kind of blowing out this way. Not too much. It looks like there's not like a lot of extra fabric there. So let me see. Okay, so then she appears to have like knee, like little plates over the knee, and then those are kind of secured behind, and so then these pants have like a nice chance to sort of like floof out. But if I was thinking about the seam, let me think. Her calf would be about like that. So since I think I established the wind was going this way, if this is loose, let me just like have that billow out in that direction, then it would be like sort of more closer to the form on this side, right? Okay, so I'm trying to do this where like now that I have this sort of like shape and like function in mind, like if I'm doing one on the right side, I'll just like go over and do the left one. So let me see. It looks like the way I drew this foot, I think it's going to be more like, I feel like her heel would be more off the ground if she is sort of balancing over on this leg. So I'm going to just like tilt that up a bit, make a little point there. And it looks like these boots fasten on the back. Something looks a little strange. Something looks strange. I feel like this whole like shin foot area is a little bit out of proportion, but I have to figure out where I'm going wrong. Okay. I think the boots need to just be like a little bit bigger. I have to make sure to do that on screen. Okay. Here we go. That looks a little bit. Because before, like the whole upper part of her was like the correct size, but as we got down further and further, like the feet were just like way too tiny. But we want to make sure that she looks really sturdy. So let's make sure, to draw pretty sizable feet. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're doing okay. A lot of the spear is going to be behind her, so I should get out my ruler for that. Here, let's use this. So I think the spear is going to come. I'm just going to draw a couple straight lines right through here. And that's going to come back here. Okay. Kind of made like a tangent, but I'll solve this. Like the back of this pant leg is like just sort of skimming that spear line. So one or the other is going to have to move. Or this could just overlap and solve the problem like that. Okay. So now that spear is in place, I can draw her hand kind of wrapped around here. Like hands themselves are like hard enough to draw by themselves, but like once they start interacting with another object, it's like a whole other level of difficulty. Okay. And then I just have to think about like which thing goes in front. Where is my... I have like a stick eraser that I like to use. Okay. I just want to be sure that when I ink this, that this part is spear and that part is hand, and I don't get that mixed up. That'll be fine. I'm used to... I usually like to... like I did call these tight pencils, but I do like to leave things pretty loose, just so during inking, it doesn't seem like it's still like a creative stage, like I still have to figure out where the lines go, and it's not just reproducing the pencils. Okay, I think I should work on Isa a little bit. So let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if I can get this character to look something like the book. I mean, this drawing is not going to look exactly on model because I'm a different person than the artist of Squire. I'm gonna do my best, but it'll definitely look like I'm gonna try to like get something similar, but it's definitely going to not be exactly the same. Okay, so let's see. So then she has like a belt up here. There's just like a key item of her wardrobe that I just want to make sure that I get on the right, in the right position. And it's kind of like a big plot point, so I can't really talk too much about this. Like it could be anything on here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let me think. Shoulder comes down, and then elbow bends right here. Does that look strange? Like, is this the right length compared to that? I think it's close enough. I feel like I want to move this belt like a little bit higher. So let me think. Her rib cage is here. Her waist would be about like that. Knee, like I always have to like figure out what's happening just so I can like drape the clothing correctly. Okay, so it looks like this flap would be kind of affected by the wind, and then it looks like she has pants that come down to about here. It's tough because I'm looking at this really nice like making of section in the back where Sarah Alfie like posts some of the different concepts, and I was just like was just like a little worried that I was going to draw something that ended up not in the book. Looks like that I've got it okay. Yeah, like this is the Isa that I'll be drawing. And that appears to be the same as that. Great. So, definitely going to make sure that I'm not off screen. Yeah, I mean, basically, I'm going to draw everything sort of like half size. She's going to look very cute next to the general. She has such a great face. I want to do it justice. It looks like her hair comes down like just above shoulder length. What's happening with her collar? Does this just go straight across? Great. So let's see. Her other shoulder is back here. So her elbow's there. This looks all right. This looks all right. So her hand would be like that. I do have to like, in the rough, the sorter's down there, but I'm going to move it up like a quarter of an inch. I feel like pretty close to being able to ink here. I feel like I should do it soon, so that hopefully we'll have time for color. I do need to work on the general's face, which I had put off. I mean, really, I picked kind of two of the leads, but it's such like in the story, it's such like a great ensemble. Like there's so many great different characters. I really could have picked any of them. I think. I mean, it's definitely too late in the stream to change now. Okay. I feel like one issue that I'm having is like General Hende has this great cape, and Isa doesn't really have anything billowy enough. So I might deviate a little from the design and just like add a scarf, which I think she has early on. There's some like precedent that she does at some point have some sort of scarf, or scarves exist in this world and she might put one on. I'm just trying to like add something so that her costume will be sort of like affected by and like part of the environment more. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do that. I'm in a bit of a dilemma. You know what? I'm going to keep the costume as is, so no scarf, because I realized there is something else that could billow very nicely, which is hair. We're just going to send all of this over this way, because before I had it hanging straight down, which kind of made no sense. I think this is a reason why I'm so glad that I penciled, because had these been ink decisions, I think the whiteout on this paper would have been like an inch or two thick by now. Okay, so let me see. So let me just see if I can get this face done. I feel like I need to look for a different picture in the reference because they're like that image is only like the face is only an inch tall. I just need like a better look up close. Oh, well, it's also a treat like looking through these references because I get to kind of enjoy looking at this book again. I feel like I should draw her head on, shouldn't I? right? Okay. Okay, I found some like a good scene that has lots of her in it. I feel like this stream has like a pretty good history with like drawing like women generals. Like we did I think we did a Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind fan art like a little while ago. And so we drew Kushana, and then over December we had a Lady Eboshi drawing stream, and I think that one turned out pretty all right. So this is like a nice like third installment in that series. I feel like I want the general here to be like projecting like some like confidence. Face is definitely it's like I need to like figure out this shape. Like she has a pretty angular features, like a very strong jaw. Okay. Okay. And so I don't know, maybe I think I will not do I think this hat is going to like confuse my drawing a little bit. Maybe not because oh man, these decisions like trying to make them live because like it would be nice to have this like this like flash of red right here. Like that would really be kind of eye catching in this drawing. Hmm. But then no, maybe I will draw it. Yeah, let's. I'm pro hat. I just got to make sure that it like can fit around like her actual cranium because right now I sort of have it like floating oddly in space and sort of like glued to the side of her head, but I want this to really sort of make sense as an image. So I'm going to just sort of like draw her kind of cranium like without hair to sort of like figure out definitely like very strong like prominent cheekbones here. So her hat would like wrap around this part of the head up, maybe like that, and then her hair is sort of like billowing out this way. Cool. I feel like we're ready to ink. Except I'm not totally happy with this Isa face. It kind of just looks a little generic to me and not too much like the character. Let me see. I do want to like find another good scene. I mean, there's so many like examples of great faces by Isa. That's kind of like so much like her expressions carry so much of the like emotional content. I don't know. I feel like I just keep going on about how much I enjoyed this book, but it's just like really put together. Like all the elements um, work together well. Like when I like and my wife read it too. Kate, Hen of the Woods Mushroom, and she was saying like it almost seemed like the collaboration was so strong. It almost seemed like it could have been done by one person. Let's see. Okay. So I think I'm also going to like kind of rotate this head like out a little bit more because before I sort of had it closer to viewing us but tilted like quarter this way, I might do like more like a 7/8. Not sure if that fraction quite makes sense. Like, not a profile, but just like turned back like 1 degree from there. No. Not sure if I'm quite capturing her. This is like a super important part of the drawing. So I do want to like spend a little time on this. That nose is not working. Eyes are okay. It's a little closer to what I'm looking for. Let's, even though I said the eyes were okay earlier, I kind of drew the rest of the face and now I want to redo them. Let's just make her like a little more, make these like a little bit bigger. I don't know, something, she doesn't look, in this drawing that I'm doing right now, she doesn't look kid-like enough. I think a lot of it has to do with where her face is like sitting on this head shape. So either I could like add more, I could just like add more face up this way, or, but that kind of like throws everything off. The other thing I could do is if you've watched these streams before, this is definitely like part of the struggle. Okay, so I'm just gonna like I'm kind of doing these guidelines about like where the features go. And I think to make it for more kid-like, I'm just gonna sort of like move this like eye line down a little bit. In the sense that like as you get older, like maybe your like lower part of your face tends to grow, but like if your features are down here, it does look more babyish. Okay. Okay, eyebrows. I don't know. I'm having trouble with this. I mean, I don't want to cheat too much because I could like definitely like use some of this hair, but I don't want to like obscure the features too much because, oh, you know what? Just as I was about to like dodge the question, I feel like I found the face. I feel like I found it. At least that's Isa-ish enough for right now. Okay, great. I think we're ready to ink. Like a lot of this is pretty loose. And there's definitely like a lot of like designs on here that I'll have to refer back to. It doesn't really make sense for me to like do all the detail in pencil and then do all the detail in ink again. So let's move on to the next stage. So I'm going to show you guys this card. Inking. You can see the like rapidographs and brushes and G pens and Maru pens and corrective fluid that I use. Anyway, so we're back here. So I just need to first of all draw on these borders. Okay. I'm just doing the lines on the opposite sides so that they have like time to dry. It only takes a few seconds, but a few seconds is long enough to smear it with the ruler, so I'm just not taking any chances. Here we go. Draw that across here. Great. Okay, one more side. Okay, so now I've kind of reached the critical moment where I'm going to have to decide, am I going to mostly approach this with brushwork, like my original plan was, or do I want to pivot and mostly ink it with this guy? Oh, Thurston Falco, thank you for the subscription. Oh, really? I guess that's pretty cool that you had a meeting with another James Kuo. uh, yeah, we're out there. We're taking over. So I really appreciate the sub. A lot of that, like whatever income I get from this stream, a lot of that goes to shipping. Once in a while, I'll do like a drawing giveaway. Like I've shipped out a bunch of those over the last month, so that's kind of like where that subscription is going to go to. So thank you for helping to keep that going. Yeah, since you're arriving, I just wanted to say that we're drawing this character from Squire named General Hende, and we're just about to get into inking. Okay, so let's see. Let's put this away. I kind of feel like, oh, you know what? I should you. While I have my ruler and technical pens out, I should just draw the like kind of shaft of the spear, because that's going to be it's going to not look very good if I try to freehand that. So one more technical test to do. Where did that pen go? Okay, okay. I almost feel like, I should go in. I don't know. Like the moment when I start inking, it's always like kind of a big question about like where I'll sort of enter the picture. And a lot of the time, like I'll start with drawing things that are more forgiving, like maybe some fabric, maybe some rocks, maybe some clouds. But since all of you are here and you saw me kind of struggle with these faces, I think that like, oh, Hen of the Woods mushroom is here, and oh, good. Yeah, I feel like the drawing's going okay. I had originally planned to just draw the general, but I ended up adding Isa because I feel like their contrasting sizes makes for like a more interesting picture, and also kind of like helps the composition because a lot of this was just going to be flapping cape, which is okay, but like having her sort of like contained in that shape, I think is going to be cool. All right, so let me just draw the bottom of that. Okay, that's all the like ruled lines that I think we're going to do. I feel like, so I am going to go in and just do the faces while I remember what I want them to look like. And then I feel like, oh yeah. I like to, I had a week off from stream to travel, so I'm just remembering how this goes. Ink time, I usually like to zoom it in, just to like make it like a little closer, so you can like really see the pen pulling across the page. Like, I really love to watch those Urasawa Naoki like Manben videos where he interviews different manga artists, and they always had like such great close-ups. And I was like, before I watched those, I was in kind of like I was like having trouble relating to drawing, but like watching like the pen pull across the paper kind of like really stirred something in me. I was like, I know how to do that. All right. I feel like I don't want to draw too many individual strands. Like I should kind of deal with this hair. Ooh, not happy with what I just did there. So let's just bring that line up. Um, it's okay. I'm gonna like move ahead with the drawing. I do have corrective fluid if I make like a really big mistake. So let's see. I'm gonna part her hair on that side. This part kind of blows across. I also, what I need to think now that I'm inking, I kind of didn't consider this during the pencil stage, but now I really have to think about like what time of day it is. Like, where is the light coming from? Like, especially if I'm also going to color it later. Like, is it noon? And like they have like a bright light coming from above and like heavy cast shadows underneath, because that's definitely going to affect um, how I press this down around curves. Or is it sort of like nighttime and things are like a little more diffuse? I think it's going to be a daytime scene. So I kind of, this line is pretty thick right there, but I can clean that up. I think we're going to do light is probably coming in from this direction. Otherwise, like if light were coming in this way, it would end up sort of like shadowing them on their faces. And I think that's not the mood that I'm looking for. I think they're going to be like sort of like facing sunward. And so light's coming in this way. So I'm just going to like make myself a note. So whenever I do like a heavier incline, it'll always be sort of like facing away. This sun is like not going to be in the picture. It's just like to let me know the direction of where the light's coming from. Let's draw that up here. Okay. Great. So trying to like get through here with like as few lines as possible. I think that's going to be it. I think that's going to be it. So let me just like check. I haven't really completed this hair, so let me just like figure out how this would like. See, her neck comes down this way. All right. This definitely needs like a little more addressing, but I do want to work on Hende up here. Let me see. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put my hand down without like smearing that. I think the answer is maybe a blank sheet of paper. Do I have one? I ought to. Here we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna like have this blank sheet under my palm so I don't like smear too much. Usually at this stage, try to like put my reference away and just like trust that I gave myself good instructions with the pencils. feel like even when I draw this hair, I'm trying to be aware of like the difference in age of the characters and how I feel like when you're older, hair can get like a little more stiff. So definitely like these curves are different than these. Okay. Yeah. I really want to get this right. Oh, you know what? Her hair is in, it has like a long braid in the back. I feel like I should include that, huh? Like it sort of gathers in like a low pony ish. Okay. Let me just like indicate that. So this would go behind her, and then this would sort of like gather, and then so this is the hair, and then from here down it's like braided. Then there's like a little tail there. I think that's right. And then I feel like this would be empty space. Okay. I don't think I'm making that up. Oh. Looks like we have Galuigi in the chat. Thank you for the resub. Oh, and 5 months. Wow, like time really has moved on. Like I'm glad we've been uh, streaming for a while and have a nice follower. So Gal says, "Hi James, hi chat. About to take a bus to see a movie. Okay, so I hope you enjoy your movie. I'm glad you stopped by for a second. Uh, we're just drawing characters from Squire, and amazingly, the artist Sarah Alfie is here in the chat. So I'm kind of like sweating because I really want to get this right because the actual artist of the book was here. Okay, so let's see. So oh my god. Oh, Galuigi, you're gonna go see the new Michelle Yeoh movie. I want to see. I hear it's incredible. Um, yeah, I would. Yeah. So I hope you're gonna really enjoy that. I have to. I may need to like wait until maybe a month or two before it is on streaming. But I'm really excited about the return uh, of Data from the Goonies and Short Round. I know he took a couple decades off of acting, and it's like I think he was saying just because like he wasn't offered uh, very good roles because it is difficult to be an Asian person in Hollywood. But it is great to see his return. I don't know that I love the mouth that I just drew. I feel like I need to do in like a little more of this hair to see if it looks right. Oh, popcorn for dinner. Oh, sounds perfect. Um, and is that popcorn dinner for one? Like, uh, do you have like visitors to go to the movies with? Okay, let me see. I think her tail's gonna be like that. So I think this is pretty much right down here. Usually I like to sort of like work my way down just because the ink is wet, like sort of going top to bottom and like left to right. But I feel like I'm kind of considering that like a lot of these fabric shapes would be very good to do brush-wise. So I think I want to do like a little more detail on these hands with pen, and then maybe like switch tools. Oh man. Hands definitely not easy to draw. I'm trying to like sort of like fan these fingers out and then like have the index like pointing forward. Because they all sort of like respond to the position that their like neighbor fingers are in. Let me think. So then the base of her hand would be here. So her thumb would come out right around there. I think that's okay. Wow. Don't love the curve of this. I'm gonna, usually when I make a mistake, I'll just like do the correct line right away. Oh, perfect. So I think I just need to like work my way back. No, I think it is going to be brush time. Oh, I should draw this hand first while I have, like, I could brush these in, but usually this is much nicer for like details. Okay. And it looks like she has like little guards on the back of her. Oh, I think it was before you arrived, Galuigi, but I was pointing out that this is like the third kind of like awesome like woman general we've drawn, because we did Kushana from Nausicaa before, and then we did Lady Eboshi, and then we were drawing like General Hende right now. So this is like the third installment in that series. Okay, so I feel like a lot of the rest of this should be brush. Yeah, let's switch. So I'm just gonna like clean off this tool. And okay, yeah, let's see what this brush can do. I think this is definitely going to be good for all this fabric, all this like rippling fabric that we're going to try to put in. It's tough because I'm trying to like hold. Oh, Kuvira from The Legend of Korra. That's a good idea. I know. Sometimes we've rated and like shouted out Irene Ko or Coquette, who drew a lot of the like official Korra comics, and she like is a really excellent streamer on here. Usually, I think 50-50 like game streams and drawing streams. Here we go. Yeah, I really like what's happening with these lines. I feel like I should have just done brush from the get-go. Um, but like, I feel like these lines are a lot more expressive and like fluid and like alive. Sometimes, I don't know. Like I was trying to use the pen to be a little more precise on some smaller stuff, but I think, I don't know, I feel like brush lines can have like so much charm that even if they're not like totally exact, like it really kind of, I don't know, like enlivens everything. Okay, so let's see. She has got to make sure to get this costume right. Like this graphic novel is like seems like all the research and all the costume designs and like the characters are also like extremely well done. I want to try to do justice and like really get this as close as I can. Okay, so I feel like a lot of her chest plate is going to go behind this arm. And it looks like there's a big kind of circular element right in the middle. And so that means we get to draw a bunch of like ellipses since we're kind of like turning that away from us. It's all right. Like it is a challenge, but it does sort of like align with the natural shape that my wrist and like hand make with the brush. So like making a line like this is very comfortable. And it looks like there's sort of like lines that radiate out from the middle here. Okay, and then it's like divided down the middle, and it comes to a point like right above her waist. Make sure that looks like a little thicker there. Oh, I feel like so Galuigi has a question. What made me choose the graphic novel that I read during the trip? I feel like a lot of the time, like we usually we do like fan art drawings on here, and a lot of it is just choosing whatever has been on my mind that week, or like things that have been on Spider Babby's Anime Club. I feel like, but there's like kind of more to it. Like I did read this over the trip, but I think both on this stream and on my like quorum Discord, there's been kind of like a lot of like diaspora talk, and like this like I don't know, this graphic novel is like so smart about kind of like addressing that directly. I feel like I watched like a really excellent like live stream with the authors a couple weeks ago where they like talked about this, and I don't want to just like repeat everything that they said. Um, but there's I feel like an early draft where it was going to be more like a goblin elf fantasy thing, but someone on the team was like, if we're going to do like instead of doing like a metaphor for colonialism, why don't we just like kind of do it directly with people? And like it was just like tackled in such like a very I don't know how to say it, just like a just like a very smart and involved way. So like it's a very kind of rich read. I mean the adventure story is very good, lots of like dramatic twists and turns, and like watching this character kind of grow up is great, but like the whole like setting and background and sort of like sweep behind it of what it means to be like involved in empire. I don't know, it's tough. Tough for me to talk about. Like I don't want to do a disservice, but I just can't recommend this book enough. It's great. I should get back to drawing. Also, I mean the other reason is just like a drawing reason. It's not like a grand historical reason. It's just like these characters are so appealing, and so it is nice for me to look for something that's going to be stimulating for me to draw, and will hopefully end up with a good drawing. Okay, enjoy the movie, Gal. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so I'm really having fun with this cape, but this part definitely goes behind her, right? I feel like I shouldn't overthink this. Let's just bring this out behind, and then bring that tunic down. I mean, it's nice to do these like big kind of bold lines like that, and then I can do like a little like smaller stuff up here. Just so there's like different sorts of marks on the paper. So now I'm just drawing this sort of like, I'm not sure what it is. Is it sort of like feathery part that's like on near the head of the spear? And that's sort of like blowing out this way. I want to draw like a couple of like dark shadows under here. And then let's see if I can draw the spearhead. It looks like it just goes sort of like a diamond shape, like gets wider and then goes back to a point. Yeah. I do have these pencil lines to follow of like that continues like where the shaft was. Like the main thing with managing brushwork is just like understanding how much ink you're dealing with. So even after like I dipped my brush, I had to like make a few lines on the scratch paper to emote it a little bit. I don't know. I mean, one challenge with drawing is just trying to like make sure with the sort of like selection of like line type that like I'm getting across like this sort of like metal material as opposed to this feather material, as opposed to this like fabric, as opposed to this hair, etc. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, okay, so I'm just like checking the real costume so I don't go too far. So she's got these wraps down this hand. Um, this looks like under here. I'm just gonna like sort of billow this out. And that comes to a point. Then there's like a very intricate pattern on here, which I'm going to have to figure out how to do. Oh, you know what? If I'm painting it, I might not ink. There's like a red design on this fabric. I might not do this with ink and just do that with watercolor. Um, but I could draw on, it looks like the bottom edge of this has tassels. So I'm just gonna like draw little guys on the end here. Okay, it looks like this has sort of like a little bit of a border around the edge. Okay. Oh, Hende the Woods Mushroom says that they like all the different kinds of motion and billow, creating with the brush. Thank you. Thank you. That is the goal. Let me see. I just need to get these like knee plates in. And these pants sort of come down and gather at the knee and then go back out again. Okay, let's see. I feel like now would be a good time to continue what's happening with this cape over here. So this would blow behind her and then come back out. I don't know. Maybe I should draw more of Isa before I draw this cape, because I don't want to sweep a line across here and end up interfering. Yeah, I definitely need to do... I feel like with ink, it's good to do like sort of like things that are closer to the viewer and then sort of step backwards. Oh, Relui is here. Always nice to see you. Okay, and then I think these boots sort of gather at the ankle, and then it appears there's like a maybe like a seam on the front and then a few fasteners on the back. Okay. Hmm. Gotta like fix what happened here with this boot. Okay. I feel like a lot of General Hende is done. Um, Now I need to figure out Isa. And like is like she has this like kind of medium blue sort of top with this like white rectangle here. Is that I'm trying to figure out whether this white part is like part of that or if it's sort of like separate. So I'm just like flipping through my copy. Okay, it looks like okay, yeah. I think I figured it out. Oof. A little too much ink. And let's see, her sleeve comes down just past the elbow. So it's going to sort of like pinch right here. And I feel like this line goes sort of straight across. Man, I feel like this is like a good chance to rework some of this hair. This should definitely like go past here. A lot of this, like I am going to color this in, I believe, but I could definitely have like pretty dark areas in the hair. And then let's see. It looks like there's just like a simple rope that goes around here as a belt. Okay. Then she's sort of like putting her hand like on her waist, but also like facing backwards. I have to like get this like sort of wrap going around here. I feel like which thing would be in front? It's like the back of her wrist, and then the fingers would sort of come out this way. Right? Okay, so it looks like she has a few layers. Like there's this blue layer, and then there's this sort of like salmon pink layer, and then like trousers under that. So let's see, and that one goes. I think the blue part goes like kind of upper leg, and it looks like unadorned from the belt down. And then like another layer here, and that has these like two stripes that come down. Okay, yeah, this is all right. Let me see. I just want to get a look at what the sort of practice swords look like. Okay, there was like a good example. Yeah, these like chapter header drawings were like so good, and also kind of I think Hen of the Woods Mushroom was saying when we were reading it together that like the way each chapter ends kind of like adds like a lot of like tension, or like where the scene ends like really kind of uh spurs you on in a good way to want to read the next part. Okay, so this is the kind of sword we're going to look at. Okay. Hmm. This is kind of a challenge, like which way, like there's certain like directions where it's comfortable to like pull a line, and like heading upwards like this is one of the more difficult, but like kind of like down this way is good. So I'm just gonna like rotate the paper this way. Okay. Point on here. Okay, so let me think. The thumb would be covering here. Guess her elbow would here would be like right around here. So the arm would go in, and the arm would get a little wider, down through here, and then sort of taper back inward. Let me think. Yeah, bend the thumb down, and then these fingers will sort of like wrap around where this handle would be. Am I on screen? I always have to check. And I think like the little finger might be like sort of hidden behind here. And then following this direction, handle comes out like there and ends up behind her. Great. So let's see. Um, Here's the rest of her outfit. And then, so the knee is about here. So there's going to be like a little crinkle in the fabric at the back where it would bend. And then it sort of like gathers again there. Just need to move this. do her little shoes look like? They're like little boots, and then they sort of come to a point, and they sort of like, oh man, what is happening with this leg? Okay. I feel like a lot of these other elements, like a lot of this background, I may not even need to like ink a lot of it. I feel like I could accomplish clouds and this ground like all just with paint. So I think I'm not going to like ink a lot of what I indicated down here. So basically, once I get this leg and then this sort of cape outline, it should be time for color. Oh, Sparkle Sprout is here. Nice to see you. I hope you have a good look. Good lurk. Oh, Hen of the Woods Mushroom. Make sure that you're not sitting in a way that's going to it's going to hurt yourself. Okay, so let's really like jam on this cape and like send this kind of rippling outward. Let's see. So it would gather here, right? And then it would have to like go up and then like over this shoulder. So sort of like behind that hair. And then it would flow back out. I mean, stuff like capes, it's definitely like really useful because you can, I mean, since you're the one making the picture, you can put them anywhere. And so like you can, it's really helpful like compositionally, sort of like direct where you want attention to go. Let's see. I'm gonna be like really loose with this because like out here at the end of the cape, that's gonna be where like as it ripples, that's where it's gonna be like ripping through the wind like fastest. And so I think it'll create the impression of movement if I can be like a little bit indistinct with some of these lines back here. Like I've even got like the brush is getting a little bit dry, and I can like use that sort of expressively just to show this sort of like indistinct edge. And I may even just leave it like that. I do want to add like a couple indications of fabric back here, but not too much. Okay, I think that's all we're going to do for ink. So I'm going to like erase this, erase all the graphite, and then move on to color. Oh, Zelly's here. Nice to see you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is the chat's being so nice. This is like a really good thing about draw streaming is that it's tough to get down on your own work because you have all these people watching along and saying that your drawing is very nice or looks good. So much appreciated, chatters. Okay, just doing a little stretch. And I feel like I should, even though I just inked this, like with brush ink, like you're not depositing as much. Like with the steel nibs, it like sits on top of the paper more, but like the brush, you're not depositing as much, it soaks in. So I should be able to erase this. Oh, and Elk Velvet's here. Great. I think, but the last thing I want to do is I just spent an hour inking this and an hour drawing it. I don't want to smear it. So I think I'm just going to do like a couple shout outs. Let me see. Let me see. to make sure that I spell this right. Yeah, so um, there are a lot of art streamers on Twitch. How do I do shoutouts? It's !SO, right? Alu Nim. I really gotta not make typos. Alu Nim. This is a streamer that I've really been enjoying.
Also, yeah! That is great, Hoos. Well, except for being stuck.
So they're like a really fun artist. I'm trying to like I really admire their style. I'm trying to like learn from them. Their name's Chan Chao. They have worked. Some of their client work is like the Babysitter Club novels. But the thing is, they do great art streams, but they don't keep their VODs up. So if you want to watch, you do need to watch it live. So that probably means going over their following, leaving the notifications on. It's great. Okay, so I think that gave me enough time for all the ink to dry. So I'm just gonna like, here, let me zoom out now that the ink is done. Okay, that's as far out as it goes. We can't really see the whole picture at once, but I can like sort of scroll this up and down for you guys. Just like imagine that you're using your mouse wheel as we kind of browse through this image. Okay, we're clicking it the other way again. That image is going to scroll up. Okay. Oh, while I'm erasing, I'm just going to do another little shout out to Elk Velvet, who's a very fun streamer. Love a woods walk with Belka.
That's pretty funny. I think we did good.
Really delightful clip. Were those glasses that you found there, or did you put those there yourself? I feel like this like sort of like this sort of like eraser stage is like a great time for those shoutouts, because this is just me like applying some like elbow grease to this image. Here we go. Eventually, like I don't think I'm going to get every single bit of graphite, but pretty soon I'm just going to have to say it's time to color. Okay. Oh, good. You found them nearby and put them on the tree? Good. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's good to engage in like physical comedy, even like in all situations. Like it's part of wilderness survival. Like if you're out there in the woods, like you're still gonna need jokes. So I'm glad that you were prepared with that. Okay, so that's all the crumbles off. Unfortunately, I also sort of like erased I had drawn some pencil lines for like the ground and the clouds and stuff, but I can pretty much figure out how that's going to go. So let me, okay, I'm going to turn up my saturation just to like really make the colors seem vibrant. So let me get out my colors. All right, so I've got my watercolor tray. I've got 2 brushes. I'm going to use one for warm colors, one for cool, so when I switch, they don't like get too mushy. Man, these eraser bits just get everywhere. Okay. And I believe I said that the light was coming in this way. So I'm going to have to like think about that as I do this painting, which I think is going to mean like leaving a lot of this sort of like white that's like towards this way. Okay. So I'm just going to get things in a better place. Okay. I feel like, okay, wait, let me just put on this card. Okay, we're moving into a new stage of the stream. This is the color stage. Oh, wrong window. Here we go. But like I do need like a little bit of energy to help get me through this next stage. So let's take some advice from acclaimed anime director Hayao Miyazaki. And I'm just gonna like open up my stream snack, which is a clementine. I hope you at home have your own snacks. I'm not gonna like consume this whole thing, but I just need like a wedge or two just to keep the old like blood sugar going. Okay, okay. Hmm. Hmm. Oh my god. I'm okay. I was just a little bit surprised. Um, I was not expecting seeds in that clementine, and I just like entired like a section of it. Maybe not very wisely. So there was just like a little bit of a struggle there. All right. So I'm okay. So eating did make me feel better. And now I think Urasawa is going to direct us to Please Draw More. So let's listen. Okay. So I'm uncovering a couple jars of water over to this side. I feel like I might work on trying to figure out which part I should do first. I feel like I could do the character colors. That would make the most sense, right? I feel like, did I just hide? Sorry, my voice is still a little weird. I just like inhaled part of a clementine, and so my vocal cords just need to settle down for a second. Okay. So here we go. So I'm just gonna like, oh, pardon me. So I'm just gonna like hold the book in one hand and look for colors and try to like apply them over here. So it looks like on this cape there's like a red border around it. So that's what I'm gonna put in first. And I feel like I should put in, because what's happening here is this cape is rippling out, but I'm trying to think, like it might be making, like the other end of it is like here, like it's sort of making like a U shape. It comes out and it sort of like cups like this. I need like another line like that. Or I could just do that in red. We'll see. Okay. I feel like this red is going to be, I mean, I need to get color on my brush, not just talk about it. So let's get like a little test sheet. So I'm just like mixing up a couple of these reds, and I don't want to be like too direct from the tube, so I'm also kind of mixing in like some of the tray colors from like previous paintings. I've got like kind of a mixture of like I don't know, some of these like siennas over here I'm just bringing in. What's that going to get me? That's all. Oh my god. Sorry for the like Clementine problem. I think my voice will return to normal pretty soon. Okay, so considering that the light's coming in this way, I'm going to start coloring in this side of her hat, but leave like a lot of like the rim lighting coming in. And then see, this is like this sort of like cape composition is like working out even better than I thought. And I almost dipped my watercolor brush in my ink, so I need to cover that before I get in trouble. Okay. The thing about this paper is that this is Bristol, so it is like heavier than your normal like typing paper or computer paper, but it's also not really like true watercolor paper, so there is a limit to how much I can really get on here. I'm just trying to like arrange all the things on this table so people can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so this red stripe would come behind her, and then down here, and then back up. And there's sort of like the other edge of that cape. Oh my god. Okay, okay. Color's happening. So then this would go back behind here and then back out. There. Make this line like a little bit thicker. I feel like I should try to indicate, like while I have red on the brush, I want to try to get everything that's color, that is that color. So I should try to indicate a little bit of this pattern that's on here. Okay, so let me see. Looks like there's a few rows. I won't be able to get like every line that's in this. I want to try to like do it close as I can in a timely way. I'm going to work from the bottom. Okay, from this point, there's sort of like a diamond shape. I'm just like thinking about how these lines go together. Okay, so I feel like there's like a couple rows come down. Man. I mean, this is a pretty complicated design, and then it's like a whole other task to like sort of figure out how it would sort of conform to the different ripples of this fabric. Mm. Right. And then it's like things that go up that way. I feel like proportions are like a little bit not what they should be. Like if you looked at this, I'm going to mute the stream for a second. Okay, I'm back. I just wanted to like take care of my congestion because I know it's not like super like pleasant to listen to me coughing. Yeah, I just like was trying to eat this guy, but then it turns out there was a seed inside, and then I got surprised. Oh my god, it was a fiasco is a great word for that. So right now we just started in on color. I mean, it's kind of I kind of like how it looks just black and red. So I think I need to like finish up this design. Wait, wrong brush. Okay. So then there's a lot of sort of like concentric patterns, sort of like go kind of like overlap. Oh my god, I'm really not doing this justice. Okay, well, I think that's the best I'm going to do at the moment. I could put in a little bit of this layer. It's not as red as that, so I need to like dilute this a little bit and like add some of these other like sort of pinks. Make this like a little more of a salmony color. And then I'm going to like leave this other edge open. Okay, so I feel like, oh yeah, let's get in like a little bit of the skin tone. So let me try to mix that. And how is that going to come out? Let's get my test sheet. That looks all right. So I think I am going to like put their skin tone in down the side of this face, but like leave it open in this direction. Just I'm trying to like indicate that there's like a harsh like daylight sun coming down on them. So I'm really only kind of putting in the skin tone like where the like sort of like where the face would be sort of casting shadows on itself, like over on this side. Also like a little bit under this hair. Okay, let's switch. Oh wait, I think her ankles are open here. And I think while I'm in this sort of like warm neighborhood, I'm going to like put in this kind of like wooden sword color. Okay. All right, yeah, we're going to switch to cools now. So putting this warm brush away. I've got my tray over here, and I'm kind of going down the sort of like cool side of the palette. I'm just like grabbing a few of these different blues. And I think I want to add like a little bit of the Payne's Gray. Because the blue that she's got is like a little bit muted. It's not as it's probably closest to this color. So let me make sure that I have like enough of that. Okay, so kind of same deal. It looks like I gotta make sure not to cover up the part where there's like the kind of gold trim that she has on the sleeves. Okay, so right. I feel like I don't want to do. I think what I started doing is like making these colors like a little too like solid. What I should do while I have my cool brush out is like kind of add in where I want the shadows to go on like all the surfaces. So let me put this away for a second. I feel like I'm not so far ahead in the drawing that it's too late for this. There's still plenty of time. Okay, so I think on like a lot of these undersurfaces, I am going to get some of this like purple color on here, sort of like in this shadow, like behind her cloak. Like under here, like on this sort of plate. Okay. Definitely like some shadow kind of like down here, just to like connect them to the ground. All right, let's see. Oh, I definitely forgot to paint in her hand over here. So I'm kind of just like putting these on all the like sort of opposite sides that are not facing towards the light source. Okay, let's see. And even though I didn't do this when I was adding in this color before, I feel like since you like watercolors are sort of like made to layer, it's like perfectly fine to add this on top of that blue that I already put in. Okay. Yeah, I feel like things have like a little more weight now that they've been sort of given, I don't know, maybe like a little depth by this method. Okay. Okay. So let me see. I'm going to go back and I feel like like this color and this color are pretty similar. Let me put that in. All right. So I'm sort of like avoiding, like I'm overlapping those like purple shadow colors that I did some, but I'm also leaving enough of those as themselves. Okay. I'm just trying to like darken up this part of her dress to like match the intensity of this part. Okay. So let's see. All right, so then I feel like I definitely need to like darken this upper blue color because like her pants are definitely like a lighter blue. Let me just like work this like in a little more. All right, and so then I think on here, I get to use, I think I'm gonna use this like cerulean, which is like one of the loveliest colors on this palette. Okay, so yeah, right now I feel like her outfit is like blending together too much, so I need to, I have this whole other box of colors that I need to break out, and I'm gonna do that right now. Okay. Because I feel like from combining these, I mean, I suppose I could add like a little purple and maybe like a little bit of like an orange complement to like bring it down for this upper color. But let me just like check out this tray. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna break out my Kuretake set. Because there's definitely like a lot more blue options that I'll be giving myself. Let me just get my little test sheet out. Yeah, I think that's definitely closer to the color that it should be. Man, when it goes on solid like that, it almost like turns totally black. That's kind of really good. Like the contrast will kind of like show the difference lighting wise. So when I do these lines, I'm trying to like think about how this fabric like wraps around and like where like the wrinkles might be happening, but staying pretty loose with it, just so it doesn't look too mechanical or systematic. And also that like being aware that these brush strokes will have like direction, which will like kind of affect how we move through the picture. Okay. That part's gold, so don't touch that. All right, this is looking a lot better. I can use some of this as like another kind of like sort of like mid-tone on this. Why? Okay. All right. All right. I should get in Isa's hair. Let me just switch to my light color brush because it does make sense that her hair would stay like this with just the dark highlights. But this is going to be probably more of a color like that. Sure what I'm getting. Wow, it's gonna be like very red. Okay, yeah, I think this is gonna be just about right. Gonna use that to like also color in her like eyebrows and like eyes. Okay. Doing good. Doing good. Yeah, I feel like hopefully it's starting to look more like the character. So what do I need to do? Pants, shoes, ground. So I need sort of like a leather-ish color, which I can definitely find from all these different browns up here. Maybe that should be like a little more orangish. So I can just like adjust that. Okay. Sure that I get her. I neglected to color this hand before, so let me make sure that I get that in. Alright, so now I'm going to switch over to my cool brush and try to get some of these like metal elements. That's pretty much going to pull from these kind of like blue-gray tones. So she's got these like metal knee pads and this big like chest plate. I got to do this like metal spear tip. And then I feel like this part is like pretty dark. I'm gonna get like a lot of Payne's Gray to help fill that in. Yeah. It's coming together. I think it's really gonna help when I get some of the back in, get some of the background in. So also I should draw I should color in the spear. Make this sort of like a wooden color. And that comes back out on this other side. And then she has sort of like, to me they look a little bit grayish green pants-wise. So let me think, how am I going to get that? We go a little bit from this tray. Okay. Alright, so I feel like I need to get like some of this ground and then I think we'll be out of here. So let's see. How am I going to do this? I'm going to... Well, first of all, I feel like I should put the ground in first so I know how much of it is there. So I need to warm brush out. Just going to sort of like load it up with some of these. I feel like there's going to be sort of like... okay, just need to like look at this. So I don't want there to be like just like a flat sort of like band that would like represent the ground going across here. I feel like there should be like a little bit of a, should be on like a little bit of a diagonal, which is going to be better for the composition anyway. And also, I feel like I want like a little bit of, trying to stay pretty loose with this because I want there also to be sort of like the fog of war kicking up, like as though, you know, there's been soldiers and horses like tromping through here, sort of like kicking up dust. So that's going to like be lifting a lot of this into the air. And some of these, you know, when I draw that like dust coming up, it's going to go in front of these shapes, like in front of these like legs that I've already like painted, just to like sort of like make sure that they're like involved in their environment, that they're not sort of like standing in front of a backdrop. Okay. I can get like some darker browns in here just to like indicate like a little bit of texture on the like areas of ground that kind of is revealed. And so this would indicate like maybe like different rocks or like gravel or texture, or just like something that interrupts the that background color. Okay. This right here just looks like a brushstroke, so I need to do something to fix that. I think I'm just gonna like be adding more pigment. Yeah, I can pick that up a little bit with the brush. And I think I'm gonna keep like sort of like working that upwards, but I think I should also kind of start at the top and like work like a little bit of sky and cloud downwards and then kind of figure out where they meet, and it'll be sort of like hazy in between them. So what I'm gonna do first is just like sort of like wet all this area. Like all this up here is gonna be sky. And so I'm just gonna like get this nice and damp, and then I'll be able to like add sort of like blue pigment into it, and it'll kind of travel where it wants to. There's definitely like a lot of surface area that I'm trying to like fill up with this kind of not very large brush. I feel like I think it's maybe a little too late to go hunting right now. No, I'll just finish with this. Okay. So I'm gonna grab, switching my palette around, I'm gonna grab some of this like cerulean. And I feel like when you look up at the sky, like the deepest blue would be like directly above you, and then like it would get lighter towards the horizon. I'm gonna try to use that. And sort of like similar to what we did with the cape shape, we can also just like, since I can put these clouds anywhere I want, I can really use them to sort of like cut up the composition, because there's all this empty space up here, but I could like use, I can indicate that there's like, say, a cloud coming down this way, and it would be like a way to like lead us into the image, right? Okay. I need to like, yeah, there we go. I think I just didn't have enough water or pigment on my brush, so I was having trouble getting anything to happen on here. But now, I think I'm like, so I was afraid of like getting too much blue further down. But it looks like getting like something like the effect that I'm looking for. Hende the Woods Mushroom is noticing how I'm drunk with cloud power in my ability to put clouds anywhere. I mean, I'm going to enjoy like the very moderate amount of power that I have like over this drawing. Okay, let's see. Because like in normal life, clouds do not listen to what I ask them for. Here we go. I feel like, okay, so I'm going to switch back over to my sort of like ground color. And I'm going to work that like sort of upwards until these meet. Okay, so let me see. What was I using? I was mostly using this guy, like a little bit of these. I definitely want this to like sort of get in between all these areas. And I could just like send it right over these characters. And I think like similar to a lot of these like sort of rippling shapes, I'm just sort of trying to create motion and like different ways to like lead you around the image. And I think I need to like take the brush away from myself before I add too much of this. Should be calling this stream pretty soon here. Looks like I missed a little bit of area on the back of this skirt, so I do need to get my blue brush back out. Okay, so let me... Let's get some of this back here painted in. Oh, I still need to do like the gold highlights on her, which is great because I do have a nice set of like actually gold watercolor. Don't always get to use it. Okay. I'm just kind of got in the zone of like adding more of these shadows. So a lot of this stuff up here I kind of like went over quickly, and it's like really good to go back and address and like make it like a little more, I don't know, just add like a little depth or like make sure that it's not only one pass. Okay, okay. So I need to add like a little bit of gold around here and here. There. Okay, let's do it. Oh, Sophie's gonna take off. Thanks for staying around. It's enjoyable to have you in the chat. So let me see. We're in the home stretch. Yeah, I've got this like nice gold color right there. So I'm just going to like pick some of this up. This is definitely like a sort of thing that's not going to be really, I don't know, too perceivable when I, like if I post this image anywhere. This is definitely an element that is kind of made to be appreciated in person. I mean, it's basically just like painting with glitter right now. Okay. That and that. So that needs to dry. I feel like I'm more or less finished. I could go over it. Where is my correction fluid? Okay. I mean, like, for example, what is a metal spear tip if there isn't like a really nice like glint coming off of it? So I'm just gonna like sort of break up this line a little bit. Kind of try to create like a nice sort of gleam coming off of here. Also, I'm just gonna like add like a little bit of highlights on these like metal elements. And all this kind of like stuff that's up towards the top, that's like facing, that's closest to the light source, I can really just break up these lines in the sense that it's like so high key that it's really getting kind of blown out to the point that the line just disappears. Okay. I can just break that up. There's like enough information here that we know that this is a continuous shape, right? So feel like, guys, we're just about done. Yeah, I think I'm ready to sign this and then sign off. It came out pretty okay. Huge thanks to everyone in chat who stopped by, Elk Velvet and Sophie and Hende the Woods Mushroom and Rolui, and Galuigi was here for a minute. And like enormous thanks above all to Sarah for stopping by. Like my mind is pretty blown that the actual artist of Squire, who I'm like kind of really amazed by, like stopped by to watch this stream. So let me just sign my name down here. I hope that I did okay with your characters, that I didn't give your book a bad name. I'm really trying to like spread it to people that they should really pick this up. Okay, so where's my pen? And I should also start looking for a raid. Okay, so let's just sign it down here. If any ink will come off. Okay, there we go. James Kuo. 22. Okay. So let's see. They're a good stream to go raid. Or we could just end it here. Let's see. I think I'm going to go raid Crease Art. They're sort of like they're like a comics artist. They've done some of the like mutant books at Marvel. Like they worked on the Marauders, I think. Oh, yeah. Paul is here. I feel like everybody got. Just if people are getting here right at the end, I'm just gonna scan through this like one more time. There's the picture. It's from Squire. And yeah. So there's the book. I hope everyone picks that up. And so let's see. So I feel like we should be on. Like I was traveling, so I missed a week. So I'm glad people came back, and I should be back on next Tuesday, right around the same time. Maybe I can get an extra stream or two in before then. So let me just type in CREES. Wait, oh, I was about to do a shout out, but we're going to do a raid. Here we go. Raid. Did I type that correctly? REES. Okay, so it looks like we're going to all go over to that other stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. It really kind of makes drawing, like, I don't know, it's great. I don't know what to say about it. Goodbye. Thank you so much.